As leaders, how do we train for something you can't imagine the consequences of? I've seen it often in my career, meeting people on the worst day of their lives. How do we prepare our responders for worst case scenarios when we can't even practice for the best case? Let's elevate 21st century exercise power for the greatest air power in the world.
For decades, we've trained the same way with limited effectiveness. It's impossible to get the entire installation to participate. We can't shut down an active airfield, and it's very difficult to simulate a disaster like an aircraft crash, an enemy attack, or severe weather event. We don't like to admit it, but we just haven't found a way to bring new technologies to train like we fight until now. What if we could harness the power, energy, and intensity that our younger generation has for video gaming and bring that into our training days and exercises? Well, we have a new opportunity that's becoming more widely available and easier to use. It starts with virtual reality, then it quickly extends to a networked system of systems. You can think of this as a multiplayer video game. It's a scenario-based incorporation of real-world activities pulled into a simulation. Using this networked virtual reality approach, airmen can use multiple platforms, either at their workstation, from home, or anywhere in the world. Using multiple devices that work best for each generation, we can transform the way we train and exercise. So instead of the wing commander hosting a tabletop meeting with all the squadron commanders, they can all utilize their laptops with a command and control module. Or instead of setting up a concrete mixer on the airfield, an equipment operator can put on an Oculus headset and operate levers, joysticks, and foot pedals. You got a bad weather day? You lost some of your team members to quarantine? Or do you want to run through one piece of a scenario multiple times because you just didn't quite get it right? Well, those problems are all solved with this. A multiplayer network system is the way of the future, which allows us to fly, fight, and win.
Gone are the days of a 300-person turn over every stone inspector general event. Remember those? Those have been replaced by virtual inspections uploaded in SharePoint. Let's get back to the basics by honing critical thinking by creating an ecosystem of networked consequence decision-based training tools, enabling extended reality at all skill levels while enhancing readiness by building a consistent platform enterprise-wide. We have to be smart with limited resources. The extended reality industry is growing by leaps and bounds. The timing is right to develop an all-hazard, risk-based system of systems on an open source competitive market. We have to get it right at the short, medium, and long-term platforms.
Now, we do have a few opportunities here. We already have a mature application that has become the gold standard for the fire community. We also have 2 successful phase 1 prototypes from the civilian market, and we're poised to transition into phase 2. These prototypes include an operator's level concrete mixer, a mobile app for installation recovery after attack, and an airfield damage simulation for multiple players. We have even demonstrated a successful active shooter exercise using mixed reality. We're ready to expand those individual successful prototypes into a full-scale, all-hazards system of systems where we integrate real-world activities with extended reality technologies. We've already paired up with the civil engineer enterprise, security forces, and medics as potential users, and the Inspector General's office as a facilitator. We have the potential to add community and corporate partnerships as well, such as civilian emergency response agencies, equipment manufacturers, and software developers.
Our cell is a 3-phased approach. Phase 1 gives us a single installation, mature tested program at $400,000 within 120 days. Phase 2 is a proof of concept through an open source competition to network an all-hazard system of systems. Phase 3 is a 4-year, $5 million full confidence platform rollout enterprise-wide.
By providing realistic, full-scale, all-hazards training through extended reality simulation, we can give airmen a more personal experience, give them confidence, and improve readiness while also giving back time to those airmen and commanders to get back to their daily mission. So let's train like we fight. I'll see you all on training day.
Let's roll.
Hey, JR, Zach. Hey, great pitch, man. JR, I liked your goggles at the beginning, and then when you threw the Matchbox car out, I was like, I'm tracking. And, you know, I think you got your pitch down, at least for me. Zach, I think when you said, it's really like a video game, man. Like, everybody's going to come in and play Call of Duty or something. So I kind of understood what you were talking about there. Let me ask you though, this is the final piece of the week where you pitch it to us and we learn. What did you learn this week? What do you take away from this week, JR, Zach?
We joined two projects into one. So I think working together, seeing the big picture, and sometimes we may have our own personal what we want to see, and then taking that for the better of the Air Force. And I think innovation did that for us is hey, we're thinking at a small scope. Let's blow the doors off of it, blow the foundation, and start over with a fresh mindset. And the future's here, and let's go.
Cool. How about you, Zach? Is it worth doing this? You get anything out of it?
Yes, sir. I mean, I got up to speed real quick on all the different types of virtual reality. I didn't know there were so many different ways to attack this. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it really has a place in the future of our training.
Well, good. I hope we gave you some skills this week too, through our partners going through the process that you'll be able to take and use, in your day-to-day job as we go through. We do have a couple of questions about your presentation. I think you knew that was coming. What makes this XR system different from other VR, that we've seen? Why is XR better than VR, or help me understand that.
Yes, sir. I can take that one. So yes, virtual reality has been out there for a while, and we are using it in many units, but it's all closed systems, and it's focused on single tasks. So like one airman donning some goggles or playing on the computer, whatever, focused on one single task, maybe fixing an engine component or whatever. But what makes this different is that it uses the different mixed reality, extended reality. There's different technology at play here. The key piece is that it's an open system that any developers can expand on, and it ties all these single tasks together in, let's just call it a multiplayer video game. It's not what it is, simulation, but it allows you to bring in multiple players from all over the globe and have a mass exercise.
Right. So you have a baseline scenario that's running, and anybody can just kind of come into it with their specialty is kind of what I'm taking.
Yes, sir. Right? That's the difference.
Awesome.
Yes,
man.
sir.
All right.
Hey, thanks for thinking of this. It reminds me of my logistics background. A couple of years ago, I was really interested in how we could apply gaming technology to train our maintainers. But you've taken this to the next level. It's pretty cool. You talked a little bit about the phases and that phase 1 for 400K. Could you tell me exactly what we get for that phase 1?
Yes, ma'am. There's a current reliable system out there right now. It is on a closed platform, and we want to open that platform up, but we can build up to 10 users in the current platform. It's going to provide us current military aircraft, it's going to provide us facilities, and it's going to help us when you look at AFI 102501, which covers our all hazards approach to exercises. I can train defenders, I can train maintainers, I can train disaster preparedness, security forces, bring everybody into one group. And then we can also take that technology, and whether we use Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or any other platform out there, and we can broadcast it by video. And then as we build, let's build a system of systems, open it up to a market, and see where the limits are to be able to tie everything in. We're not there right now of tying all systems together, and that's why we came up with a short, medium, and long-term plan. An easy win at the beginning with a long-range vision of how to bring 21st century exercises up to the 5th generation aircraft that we're flying now.
Super. So the phase 2 and 3 then just continue to build on that open system in terms of capability and what you're exercising, maybe what you're inserting.
Yes, ma'am. The second and third phases kind of expands on phase 2 and phase 3 SIBRs, and that's where we're planning for $5 million over 4 years to give us FOC at the end, and that would be developing the baseline and then adding on all these plug-in modules for the different. You can view it like different services. We can start with fire and emergency services, security forces. They all have their different parts for air aircraft crash recovery exercises, things like that. And as we expand, we can go more into our RADAR piece, our rapid airfield damage recovery. So we can have our civil engineer enterprise have their different plugins for airfield recovery and expand as we go. I mean, we could even expand this to the aircraft maintenance community for the crash recovery. If an aircraft crashes, it's not the only piece where fire has to go out and put the fire out. What happens after that? You have to get the aircraft off the runway. We could simulate all of that with runway repair and an aircraft repair for the maintenance community.
And the goal of this, ma'am, we want to build repetition. We want to build muscle memory. Doing the exercises we do now, we're lacking in that aspect. So we want to be able to give commanders confidence and improve efficiency in the exercises that we do. But then we also want to look at our community partners as we build this. How can we incorporate the surrounding areas, the communities, and build them into our partnership as a system of systems? So not only we train the military, but also our civilian counterparts.
Super. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that explanation.
I'm just curious if you guys have considered the partnership between Air Education and Training Command, who the eventual parking place requirement owner would be, so it's not you two and ad hoc, who would actually own this, and then even AMC's Joint Warfighting Training Center, because they do a lot of the similar things, and they've already started a lot of this. So I'm thinking probably past your phase 3, but where should this really belong and who should own it so that it doesn't get dropped, because it is so important. Over.
So one of the things that I look at on the exercise system, and in our meet and greet, we talked, I believe that the overall exercise of an installation is at phase 1, where our generation flying aircraft are at generation 5, and we're moving to generation 6. So the exercise piece, I think, needs to fall in realm on the exercise platform. One of the things with Zach and I that's nice is we were able to come together 2 weeks ago on polar opposites of what we were thinking and bring it all together. I believe with the team of teams that we have of building a broad-based community, getting the key stakeholders in it together, we can plan that path for you and make it successful. One of the things, our motto with civil engineering or civil engineers is we lead the way. And there's no doubt in my mind that we can lead the way on this, put it in the right place, and make it a tool of tools that all the other services wish that they had.
Gang, great pitch. I see a lot of use for this across our Air Force. I agree with you. We're standing up Air Force gaming on the services side and got 10,000 people that signed up in 3 months. And we're running tournaments because this is what the younger generation wants. This is how they think. This is what they do. We got to keep up, man. So thanks for looking at this problem and a way to get that individual readiness group together in a team readiness and move forward with it. I understood it well. Thanks for answering our questions. Good job, gang.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, sir.
Cool.